Hello, everybody. I'm here with Father Titus, and we thought it would be a good idea this week to do another Q&A session with Father surrounding some questions that people in the parish might have. We're well into this period of self-isolation. We're right around 2 months. People have a lot of questions about what we can do in this time of self-isolation. So I wanted to ask you, Father, this is something I've heard from a few people. Um, we all have loved ones in our lives, friends, family, and I think a lot of people are worried that if someone is sick or is in need, we obviously can't be there with them physically, but there might be instances where someone, for example, might need the sacrament of the sick, and I don't think people in the parish, not everyone anyway, is exactly clear on what can be done. So from your point of view, Father, I know it's difficult, but what can we do for these people that might need sacrament of the sick right now?
Okay, first of all, thank you, Michael, for bringing some of these questions to me, and then for our parishioners and for other viewers everywhere. Because at this particular moment, it is very important for us to understand actually what we need to do. Information is power. So the first and short answer to the question is that the sacrament of the sick can be administered. That is the first thing we should know, because I have done that. So our parishioners and our loved ones should know that we can do that, but there are steps to be taken in doing that. First of all, is the place where the person is safe.
Mm-hmm.
If it is safe, if the person is staying at home. Last time I went to one of the homes around us, and then before I went there, the house provided the mask, the gown I should wear, the protective mask and gloves that I will use for that. And first of all, they told me that the place is safe from COVID-19. So these are the information we need to have if I'm going to go in there to do that. So we can administer that if this security or these protective measures are in place. That is the short answer to that.
Okay. It's good to know because I would imagine there are some people out there who would think if there are loved ones who are in need that they're kind of out of luck. I get that sense from
Yeah,
from what I read out there, and so it's good to know that we can do it. It's not simple, but it can be done.
exactly.
Okay. So the next thing I wanted to ask about, and this is a tough one because um, I think there are probably people in the parish who know of people who have had family members that have died. This
Yeah.
pandemic has touched everyone. So God forbid if someone in our parish has a loved one that has passed, and we know that we can't have funerals like we normally do. But is there what can the church do for these loved ones to ensure that they receive the dignity and respect and the proper blessings of the church, to to celebrate their life and to signify their transition to the afterlife? What can the church do in these instances?
The church uh, have taken measures because funerals and memorials are the most important thing in our life as Christians, especially the Catholics, for our loved ones. And then it brings a conclusion to that relationship. So I know that it is one of the most important things that most of us that are going through many things about loved ones who are passed on or who is about to die is afraid of, you know. So first of all, there are steps to be taken. It can be done.
Okay.
The diocese has a procedure to do that. So first of all, we have two kinds of funeral we have, or funeral liturgy we could have. First of all, we call it, the first one is either non-Eucharistic funeral liturgy, or we have, which is done either in the home of the funeral home.
Mm-hmm.
So we do that without Eucharistic Mass. So that one is first one. The second one is a funeral Mass, which can be done in the church. These two are possible. And the diocese has a regulation that it will not be more than 10 people for that. If we are doing any of them, there should be no more than 10 people for that, either in the funeral home or in the church with the Eucharistic Mass. It should not be more than 10, with this emphasis on the distancing. And secondly, the steps I talked about going in for Sacrament of the sick is still in place. You have to provide the people who are coming in will have their mask on, and then there will be a provision for sanitizing, so that everybody will be safe because of this situation in which we are. But we can still have liturgical mass in the church for our loved ones if they die, with 10 people in present for that. We can also go to the funeral home to do that, with at the same time having 10 people there. So these are the things that our parishioners should know, that it can be done, but we have to follow. So whenever they have this kind of situation, it is better to call the office, so that the office will provide them with the guidelines, with both the liturgical manual we use for any of these ceremonies, so it can be done.
Okay. And I think that's an important message, because this is a tough situation, but this is not a helpless situation. It's not easy, but these things can be done.
Yes.
Moving on to something a little bit lighter. This is Catholic Education Week, and we have some young parishioners. I know that are disappointed that they have not been able to do their first sacraments. I know this personally because I have one of those young parishioners living in my house.
I know that.
And she's disappointed because she was very much looking forward to her first reconciliation and first communion. And I should point out, it's not just the young parishioners. We have parishioners from St. Paul's High School and area high schools that are, or maybe not high schools. I have to think back to when I did my confirmation. But what I'm saying is, young people who are of the age that they're ready to do their confirmation. Obviously, that's been postponed. But I'm wondering if you have a message for. I know there's a lot of families that are wondering what's going to happen, and we don't have a lot of answers right now. But is there anything you can tell these families and these young people?
Believe me, I have, because I know when I did my first Holy Communion, I know I have the anticipation, the enthusiasm, the eagerness to do that. I know how they will be feeling now, but I have to assure them that definitely they will do that. As we enter into the next phase, next stage of this pandemic, when everything is maybe a partial way of lifting it and the church is open. So we begin to enter into a way of discussing how we can do that, because at that time, the church will bring up another way of either reducing the number of the people who will come to do that. But I have to assure them that definitely they will still receive their first Holy Communion. They will still receive their sacrament of confirmation. I know the parents, the children will be, bugging their parents, disturbing their parents about that. And I know that the parents might not have the answer to give them. The shortest answer I want the parents to give them is to tell them that they will still receive it as soon as the ban is lifted from this problem we have. So I pray for them. They know I love them and I miss them, because now nobody will say father, father, and children, children.
Yeah.
So I miss them. So I'm praying for them, and I assure them that they will still receive their first Holy Communion and confirmation.
And I think it's a two-way street. I think there's a lot of youngsters that are missing um, the Sunday children's liturgy. And I wanted to finish things off on that note, Father, because this is, as I mentioned, Catholic Education Week. And we just want to remind parishioners and that even though we can't have children's liturgy in the church at the 9 o'clock Mass like we normally do, we do have children's liturgy online. I know because I have been doing the online liturgy with my children for the last couple of weeks, and I'm just wondering if you had a message for the youngsters who usually come to the children's liturgy Mass, and they look forward to seeing you. They look forward to seeing Deacon Paul. They look forward to seeing the children's liturgy team, the Dufours, Mary Beth. Do you have a message for those youngsters?
Yeah, I will advise not only the youngsters, but the parents to go to our website. We have already started our children liturgy online. So, and I'll ask the young ones to please, this is an opportunity for you to, come into the relationship of the parish and then see what we're having. And then you will not miss anything apart from just being present with each other. But what I have seen, that I have watched it, is marvelous, is beautiful. And the team that are putting up those things for our children, I want to use this opportunity to thank them so much. So ask the parents, please take your children into the site, into the website, where they will join us every Sunday. Just as we begin our Mass on Sundays, at that particular time, I usher the children in to go for their children liturgy. Please take this opportunity. Let one of the person in the families, let them take the children aside, and then, as we used to do, and in that way, they will be able to connect with what we are doing, both in the parish church and the home. Let us remember that our home is now the church.
Mm-hmm. And I just want to say as a parishioner, I'm not part of the children's liturgy, but now that I am home, I am now able to share in the children's liturgy, and I'm able to share in this experience with my kids in a way that I wasn't able to before. So as difficult as this time is for all of us, it also presents opportunities for us to grow. And for me personally, I do have to say the children's liturgy team has done such a fantastic job with this online liturgy. It's an easy process for parents to guide their children through this liturgy themselves. It's all laid out there on the website. There's wonderful music. There's great activities. I did it with my kids this week. We started learning how to pray the rosary. We sang along with the song. This is a really beautiful experience for parents and children to be able to share in a way that they haven't been able to do so before. And so I'm really thankful for that. It's a really great thing that our children's liturgy team has done. So even though we're not able to connect physically, this is in my opinion, it's a really good opportunity. So, we really couldn't ask for much more from our children's liturgy team. So, I'd like to thank Father for explaining some of these things. And I wanted to also remind people, if you do have any questions for Father, for Deacon Paul, or for anyone at the church, by all means, you can call the office, you can email the office, you can leave a message for us on Facebook, or you can contact us personally, and because a lot of people have our coordinates anyway. So however you want to communicate with us, by all means, let us know what your question is, and I'm sure Father would be more than happy to try and answer your question, because this is the way we're connecting right now, and I think we're doing a pretty good job of it. And at the end of the day, we just want everyone to to remain connected and to feel this joy and to, to walk together in Christ's footsteps. We can't do it physically together, but spiritually we're still on that journey. Is that hopefully, Father, I hope that's a good way of summing it up. Thank you very much for your time, Father.
Thank you, Michael. Thank you so much. And I want to let my parishioners know that I'm praying for them. I celebrate Mass every day for them, and the intentions are being announced very soon. If I figure out how to do it directly, they will be joining me in the weekday Masses. So thank you, Michael. And all the parents, be safe, and let you know that I love you, all of you, and I put you in my prayers all the time. God bless you, and be safe.